Hello everyone. I am doing a video today of an item that I've done a previous video on, but I'm very excited to tell you about its box and give you its backstory and how I got it as a child and how I've had to restore it over the years when it stopped working. So this is going to be somewhat of a long video. For those who don't like long videos that I do, I'm sorry. I know some of you, I've had some comments in my videos that I blabber too much, but I like to do reviews of items when I film them, especially items like this that are vintage and classic. So without further ado, I'll tell you all about it. This is the Gemmy animated life-size monster greeter that sings "Who Can It Be Now?" that was made and released by Gemmy, produced by Gemmy in the year 2000. Here's the original box for it that I have, which is in very rough shape. I've had to do things to patch this box up over the years. But overall, it still is sturdy and does a good job of storing it. I've been using it for many years now to store the item. Now, this item, my mother purchased for me at Value City. She bought it for me when I was a child. I was like 4 years old, roughly. And she bought it for me at Value City. And for those of you who are not familiar with Value City, it was a discount department store. There was some down south, like in Georgia and stuff, but it was primarily up north. It was primarily a northern chain on the eastern coast. And they sold items at discount, reasonable prices. They were a very affordable department store. And they carried a lot of neat animated items, specifically from Gemmy, but from other companies as well. They sold Big Head Jangles back in the early 2000s. They sold some Mr. Christmas items as well. But they sold the Gemmy animated handstand dancing Grinch from 2000, which I also have and have a video of. But they were a very neat store. They sold a lot of neat things. Now, unfortunately, they went out of business in 2008 when they went bankrupt, and they closed down all their stores thereafter, which was very sad. That was heartbreaking. But at least I got to experience them, the joy of going there and buying things from them throughout the early part of my childhood. And I was born in 1997, so you know, I grew up during the late 90s and early 2000s when a lot of these neat items came out, so I cherish the memories I have of Value City. Now, I'm going to move on now and talk a little bit about the box. This is the original box that came with the item. If you notice on the box, the figure on the box looks much different, a lot different, from the figure in real life. And this was pretty common among Gemmy items and Telco items as a whole that came out, pretty much many animated items that came out as a whole back then. The picture of the item on the box would vary much from the actual item photo. And it does at least show a picture of the real head singing. But this is one of my all-time favorite Halloween decorations because it's one of the first animated Halloween decorations my mother bought me as a child. So this has a lot of sentimental value to me. I remember going to Value City and seeing them in the box. I don't remember seeing them on display. They may have been on display, but I do remember seeing them in the box. And there was this one, and Value City carried the witch as well, the life-size witch greeter that sings evil ways. And my mom said to me, you know, which one do you want? Do you want this one or the witch? And we both decided to get this one. And I'm glad that we did. As you know, years later, I got the witch door greeter head. The head alone that sings evil ways, so. But I was so happy we went with this. When we first got it, I was a little intimidated by it as a child. So, we first got it out of the box and I was, oh, I might be a little scared, but then I got used to it quickly. And one of the things that I regret is we didn't store it in the box for years. We put the box down in the basement. My dad filled the box, after we got it, my dad filled the box with a bunch of old newspapers and he put a garbage bag around it. And those newspapers sat in the box in the basement for probably from 2001 when we got it until I think 2017. I went down there one day and I noticed this big garbage bag over a box and I wondered, what is that? So I ripped open the garbage bag. The garbage bag was covered in dust bunnies and muck and mire from being in the basement. But I opened the box and I opened the bag. The bag was covered in all that gook, but I still opened the bag. I got a flashlight, I think, from my phone and looked in and I saw the front of this, the figure. I thought, oh my goodness, I thought we got rid of the box years ago. We kept it all these years. So I took the papers out of it. Oh my goodness, there were papers in there. There were Ames ads from when Ames was open. There was actually the Daily Item edition. That was the paper from where we lived in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. There was the Daily Item edition from September 11th, 2001, 9/11, with a picture of the towers burning and falling on the front of the paper. So that's how old those papers were and how long those papers were stuffed in this box down in our basement for where we used to live when we still lived in PA. So I dug this out. I dug the box out. The box was kind of in rough shape from aging, being in the basement that long. Even though it was covered with a bag, it still got old, and you can see the discoloration on this. When this first came out, these boxes were white. They were white. And after all those years of sitting in the cellar, it's now brown. It's now light brown. The white coloring deteriorated off of this pretty quickly. And as you see here, there's the item information for it. One of the reasons I say that we got this in 2001, even though it was made and originally released in the year 2000, is because on the side here, here's a date that says July 24th, 2001. That must have been when these were delivered to the Value City department stores. At least the one that I bought, that we got this one from. So when these first came out, they were considered specialty items, and they were sold at originally Spirit Halloween. Well, a year later, they came to Value City and were sold for a discounted price. It makes me wonder, because Value City was kind of like Big Lots and other department stores, Ollie's, if this was leftover stock that didn't sell the year before. So they brought it to Value City and sold it at a discount price. You can still see, even though it's covered by tape, you can still see the Value City price sticker on here. And I want you to notice how much we got this for. The original retail price on these life-size animated door greeters from Gemmy was $50. And we got ours for $24.99. They were actually roughly $25 at Value City back in 2001. It shows you how much of a different economy we had back then. Lower prices, lower inflation. Now, there are some who have said online that when this first came out and was sold at Spirit Halloween, that they were over $200, $300. I don't believe that. With the economy back then, and with prices being lower, and with inflation being down back then, I believe the tag here that it was originally $50, and then when it came to Value City, it was discounted to $24.99. So, without further ado, I think I'm going to go to the item itself. Now, I told you that there was a witch one too. Now, many of you have watched the Gemmy Toy Fair from 2000, and this one is featured in it. Also, the life-size witch greeter. There's a life-size vampire greeter as well that sang in the midnight hour. Of course, is the life-size of the head that sings that. And believe it or not, the rarest. I mean, these are rare, but they're not extremely rare. Every once in a while, you can find one on sale for online for sale. Excuse me. Um, but the heads are even more common than the actual life-size greeters themselves. But the rarest out of all of them is the life-size werewolf greeter. I have never seen a box for that. I have never seen that for sale in a store. But there is a life-size werewolf door greeter that, again, it sings "I'm Your Boogeyman" because it's the life-size version of the door greeter head from 2000. So this item is still in pretty good shape. And I had to replace the head on this. When we first had this, for years we just stored, because again, the box was in the basement with papers in it, we just stored this in the attic as is. And it lasted working perfectly till about 2014. So I went online, it broke, and I waited a few years. For a few years I just sat it out as is. But in 2017, I went online and looked for a replacement head to buy to put on it. And I bought one, and that one worked perfectly. And I put it on this, and it was fine. I used string to tie the head to the body, the back of the head to the body, and it worked perfectly until this year. So about 2017 to 2026, I had 9 years of enjoying the replacement head, and then that head stopped working. So I went online again this year and bought another replacement head to put on it. And I'm glad I did, because this head actually works the best out of all of them. The button is easier to push on this. Many of you who have this item, whether it's the life size or just the head, know that many of them come with a button that is difficult to activate, to turn on. You have to press it very hard into the item to get it to come on. The button works a lot better on this, and the motion sensor does as well. The one thing I noticed about this particular head is that the recording of Who Can It Be Now is somewhat higher pitched. And that doesn't bother me because it's not too high pitched. But it's unique compared to the other heads that were on this. The one that was on it before and the original head that came with it. This time I used zip ties to connect this to the head to the body, because zip ties work a lot better and they're more sturdy for holding the head fastened to the body. So without further ado, now that I've showed you pretty much everything about it, told you what I can, if you'll notice that the original flaps are not on the box. I had to rip them off because they started fading and peeling off. These are the garbage bags that I used to wrap the item. I have a small garbage bag I put around its head, and the other garbage bags I wrap around the item to keep it as safe in storage as I can, because I don't want it breaking again. I try my best to take very good care of this item since I cherish it so much. One thing you'll notice about the arm, years ago the hand came loose off the arm, and we had to use a woman's hairband and some black duct tape to reconnect the hand to the arm. So other than that, there are really no cosmetic flaws in this at all. None. Even after being up in an attic for years, it doesn't smell like an attic. The shirt, the suit, the pants, everything. The hands, even though there's some paint chipping and some stainage on the finger, the hands are pretty much in great cosmetic condition. And the head that I bought for it, praise the Lord, that's in cosmetic condition as well. I hope that this lasts for many years to come. So without further ado, I'll show you him.
Who can it be knocking at my door? Go away. here no more. All I wish is to be alone. Stay away. Don't you invade my home. Who can it be now? Who can it be now? Who can it be now? Who can it be now?
Absolutely love it. This has been a childhood favorite for years. And hopefully I will be able to enjoy it for many years to come. Thank you for watching. I know this was a longer video, but I wanted to give you the story and background on this item. This was a very popular item when it came out in 2000. It was a popular item from Gemmy, and even though it was sold at specialty Halloween stores at first, later it came to department stores like Value City. And that's how I was able to get it. My mother bought it for steal, $25. Sometimes I wonder if we should have bought the witch greeter too, but now that I have the head, I'm happy with the head. I don't need the life size of the witch greeter. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I love you all. Believe upon Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior today if you had not already. Bye-bye.